Good evening, Hampton Roads. Welcome to the 757 House Whisperer Show, brought to you by Worley's Home Services. Worley's Home Services can offer you plumbing, heating, electrical, crawl space encapsulation, spray foam, and other installation products. They cover all of Hampton Roads area. They got extensive qualified people in each phase. Use them at my house. My name is Michael Davenport. I'm with CVP Windows and Doors. We are the only window manufacturer in Hampton Roads. We also do sliding patio doors, and we are a distributor for Therma-Tru products as well. And I would like to offer congratulations to our buddy Chuck, his new wife Julie. They were married on Tuesday, and they're enjoying a few days off, and so that's why we're collaborating tonight with my other partners here and going to bring you the show, and I'm going to let them go ahead and introduce themselves.
Hey, yeah, my name is Albin. I'm with Albin Co. We specialize in remodels. We'll do baths, kitchens, additions, new home construction, and restorations. And I also wanted to introduce to you Jack Keller with Legacy Painting. He is our resident painter. He can answer any questions regarding paint. We can try to do it ourselves here. He's not here tonight, but if you have a paint question, we can get you in touch with him. He does interior, exterior painting. He does do some drywall touch-up. If you've got a little project in there where maybe you had some kids that were a little bit rough in the house or something like that, and you need to fix some nits and scratches and dents and all that stuff, and you want to get some color questions you might have, I'm sure that he can help you with that and any of that stuff. But he is a great painter. Oh yeah, by the way, if you're waiting already for a number to call in, give us a call, 757-627-7979. That's 627-7979. We're here to help you with any of your house needs, and we look forward to trying to answer your question or getting you in touch with somebody that can.
Hey, good evening, everyone. I'm Cindy Rao, owner-operator, Alpha Pest Solutions. We are a full-service termite and moisture company. We do termite treatments, fungus treatments, repair work in the crawl space. We do pest control. We do inspections when people are buying and selling their home. And all my inspections are free. So if you got something going on with your house and you want to, somebody to come out and take a look, give me a call. Be happy to do that for you. And remember, I'm the only woman you know that has a license to kill.
Without a doubt.
So we were talking about some things, guys, off air, what we were going to be talking about tonight. And I think one of the biggest things that we were talking about is the season we're coming into. Weather's changing. We're all excited about that. Maybe that's our last snow that we saw. Who knows?
Maybe.
It's been kind of a crazy season.
Yeah,
but as we come into the wet weather and maybe some warmer weather, Cindy, what's going to be happening in your industry?
So we are coming into what we call swarmer season. And I think tomorrow even is supposed to be in like the 70s, and
mid-70s,
you'll begin to see swarmers when it's wet, and we've got a lot of moisture.
What does that look like?
So they look like
Are we talking about like some type of
Fire.
Cloud, like super dark black sky kind of swarming?
You'll generally see them.
What do you?
Well, you can see them maybe in a garage or in a windowsill or around sliding glass doors.
Does this
or
mean they
doors.
just hatched or something and they're all starting to fly
They have
around?
wings on them?
They have wings on them,
Yeah.
and not to be confused with the flying ant. They look very similar. The termite will have both the wings will be the same length.
Okay.
And their body will almost look like two parts.
When you say both wings, is it
there's
one
a front
wing per side, or are you saying the wing in the front is the same length as the wing in the back?
Right.
Okay.
The ants will be shorter, and then one longer one.
Okay.
Theirs are not the same.
Well, I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah. And so then when you see them, and then if you see just the wings around, that means they have started a colony. That means that they have picked their mate. They shed them, and they have started a colony.
Okay.
So you see those wings and don't see the termite, the swarmers. After seeing them.
Where would you be looking for those if you were going to be helping somebody along the process of seeing whether
So ordinarily, you're going to see them in around a window. So the sun comes in through that window, and it gets nice and warm and toasty in there. Same thing around sliding glass doors, front doors, back doors, and then in garages, around garages. I mean, I went into a development one time, and they had a kid's toy in there, like a little truck that you drive around, and the whole back of that thing was full of swarmers.
Were they being hauled to another place by a little driver in the truck?
Right, yes. Yes.
I want to ask you a question that I know the answer to, but a lot of people think that the termite eats the wood, but that's not the case. The termite is looking for what, and what happens to that wood he's boring through?
So they're looking for what's inside the wood. And so what they're eating through, they feed that back to their babies, is what they do with what could be called frass, They feed that to their babies, and that's what they eat. But that's what they're after. It's a food source, and they're trying to get to, that. And to get to that, they got to go inside it to eat it.
Interesting.
And it's amazing the damage.
Right. That's how when you see them in the wood, it almost looks like galleries. And so they have eaten through it, and they've gone through that like in a straight line. So they're easy to spot, easy to, see that that's what it is. But
it's amazing how they can turn things to powder.
Quickly.
Went and saw a job in Williamsburg, and they were not in the wall, but they came up a piece of trim. And I told the person, I was looking at their windows, and I told the person, I said, "You got termites in there." And she said, "Well, how do you know?" I said, "Watch this." I took my finger, and the only thing holding the trim together was the paint on the outside.
Yep.
And I just pushed it right
through it.
And she says, "Golly day." I said, "Well, you got a real problem there." We opened that wall up. We were going to do a restoration series replacement. It was a vinyl house. We were taking all the siding loose, pulling it back. And I said, when we open that wall up, we're going to see something that's going to have to be fixed. I mean, I don't know how bad it's going to be, but you need to be prepared.
It's going to be worse than what you think.
Well,
it always is.
Because you can't see what they're doing.
Right. That's what I always say. It's not what I see that bothers me. It's what I can't see that bothers me.
So on this swarming thing, we've helped people identify what they should be looking for. What is their next step?
So if you see that sort of thing, absolutely give me a call, and I'll try to get to you as soon as possible. If it's going to take me a few days, then I'll ask you to get a plastic baggie and save some of them so I can then identify. Because oftentimes, it's just like the mechanic. My car is making a noise. You take it to the mechanic, and it's not making the noise anymore. So if I go there and they're no longer there, it's going to be hard for me to say what you had.
So you need to be able to see them, identify them. I know a lot of people, when they see them the first time, they're going to be in a kind of a panic mode to get a hold of you. What type of time frame do they have from that time that they see it?
Sooner rather than later. Don't wait a year.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because if
but they
seeing
shouldn't
them,
be nervous about a week.
No.
So save a couple, and then get in line. And Cindy's going to help you guys out.
Right, because it gets to be lots of people calling, and lots of people want them identified, and then solutions for it. So,
are there different species?
There are different species. Primarily what we have here is subterranean termites, so they come up from the soil. So that's why it's important around here, particularly when homes are being built, that we treat the soil and then we treat the structure. That's not done on newer construction. So if you have a newer home, if it's been built within the last 5 to 10 years, you might want to have that checked out. I'm happy to do those inspections. They're free, but it is not uncommon to go into a new development and have nearly every house in there infested with termites. So just because it's new doesn't mean it's safe.
I think one thing that we haven't talked about that we should be, make sure you understand is if you don't see a swarm, it doesn't mean that you're safe.
Right.
A lot of the times people think if it's out of sight, I must be okay. If I've never been in my crawl space, but I'm fairly certain the one time I was in there was fine, so it must be fine. No. You've got to be vigilant, and you got to be sure that you're on top of things. Go in there. You want to have yearly inspections. Right. You want to check your structure. You want to be looking for moisture damage. You want to be looking for leaks.
Right.
So just because you haven't had any signs of flying critters outside doesn't mean you don't already have some type of termite damage. So if you hadn't thought about a termite inspection, and we got this upcoming season where we're going to start seeing swarm, it doesn't mean that you don't already have damage. Maybe get yourself on the list already. Right. Be proactive. and make sure that you get in line for your inspection to make sure your home is in tip-top shape.
Right.
Yeah, the main thing I think, like Albin's saying, is that you got to be proactive and you got to have a service company, and having a service contract is important. You don't say, well, my house got treated, I'm not going to have a service contract, because termites can come in, you can be treated, and they find one little place they can get through and not die, and they'll be in there destroying your house. But you got to have somebody that you can trust to do the right thing, and Cindy's company is that. She's a sole proprietor. She knows how important her reputation is, and somebody is going to come in and do the right thing. They're going to check around your toilet flanges, check where pipes come through. They're going to check anything on the outside wall. They're going to check the water lines to make sure you don't have a broken line somewhere in the crawl. They're going to crawl the perimeter of the crawl the pier lines, and check it all to be sure that it's all covered, correct?
Well, so most companies do crawl the perimeter. I crawl the entire house. So you're not going to get a 20-minute inspection. You're going to get an hour and a half inspection. And I can tell you what's going on with your HVAC, with your plumbing, with whatever you got going on under there. I've even found electrical issues under there before. So I'm with the company that's going to tell you everything that's going on.
Well, that's the important thing. You got to have that. And when you're finished, do you provide any kind of report of
yes,
what?
A written report on what, if anything, is going on, and they have the option of keeping the property under warranty. If they put it under warranty, then you get a free treatment if something pops up.
So we've talked about the onslaught of the season here, what's going to be happening there. We didn't talk about is maybe new construction. Maybe there's a lot of people out there don't realize Cindy can help you. If you're a contractor out there, you're doing additions, you're doing new home construction, maybe you got a subdivision going in, townhouses, apartments, whatever. Cindy's the one that can help you with that. She can help you make sure that your investment is protected. Mm-hmm. I mean, because you're in there, you're going to put in maybe some condos, apartments, or whatever. You need to be sure that investment is going to stand through the test of time. So you want to get her in the right time frames to see what she can do for you. And we got to go to break here. So we're going to go to break, and when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about the process that would happen for new home construction. We'll be right back. It's Albin with 757 House Whisperer. We are here to help you with your house needs. If you got creaks going on, you got cracks showing up, your house is settling, you got a little bounce in the floor, maybe you fell through the floor, maybe a tree fell on the house, who knows what might be happening. We've heard a lot of stuff, and so we're sitting here chuckling, but there might be a new story out there that we hadn't heard about, but we'll try to help you out. So Chuck Worley is the founder of the show. He's with Worley Home Services. Again, Chuck Worley, they do crawl space encapsulation, HVAC, plumbing, electrical. They even do wells, and they do, what is that? Heating and air.
Yeah, geothermal.
Geothermal. That's what I was looking for. Mm-hmm. So they cover a lot of stuff. If you got something in those in the mechanical department or in the crawl space and needing some encapsulation done, they are the go-to people out there. I'm sure you've seen his trucks on the road. What is his saying? If you've seen the van, you know the brand.
See the van, trust the brand.
Yeah,
Worley's
exactly.
Home Services.
That's right. So, but anyways, I'm Albin with Albin Co. We specialize in remodels, homes. We can also do kitchens, baths. We can also do restorations, and we do structural repairs also. If you got something going on the floor, maybe something in the attic, your walls leaning, we can maybe help you look at those issues too.
Yeah, I'm Michael Davenport, CVP Windows and Doors. We are the only window manufacturer in the Hampton Roads region. We cover all the way through Richmond, down into the Outer Banks, the Elizabeth City, up into the Northern Neck, Virginia Beach, etc. We also have Therma-Tru exterior doors, and we're a distributor for that. We are the only, the only window manufacturer in the region, and we welcome you to have our quote. We believe you're going to get a great quality window at an affordable price, and that's what we put our reputation on. One of our other partners that's not here tonight is Jack Keller. He is with Legacy Paint. Jack is a young guy. He's a young one in the group. He is only 26 years old, has a crew of 6 and growing, and he covers from Williamsburg down into the south side, Virginia Beach as well, and does a premium job. I know recommended him to a couple of my clients at the window company, and he has done an excellent job for them, and that is always something you like to hear. That's why we here at the 757 House Whisperer Show only recommend people that we know will do a good job for you.
And I am Cindy Rao, the only female within this group here, and that's a honor in and of itself. And by the way, congratulations, Chuck and Julie. You guys are each other's soulmates, and I'm so happy for you too. But I am the owner-operator of Alpha Pest Solutions, a full-service termite and moisture company. Happy to serve you. We go all the way up past Richmond. We'll go down to the Carolina border. I go out past Petersburg, and I'll go past Matthews, past Saluda. So,
awesome.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we were talking before we actually go back to talking about our little subject here on termites. For those that are just now tuning in, we want to give you the number. It's 757-627-7979. That's 757-627-7979. Call in with your questions, your problems, any kind of things that's bothering you about your house, inside, outside, ground-related, roof-related, anything like that. And we also wanted to make sure that, we had this one question we wanted to ask, and that was, how much snow did you get on the ground? Call in, tell us where you're at, how much snow you had. Hopefully you pulled a measurement. This kind of could be like a fishtail here, but we'll see what happens. Maybe we get some
measuring.
Maybe we get some 25-inch readings or something like that. But so no, call in. I know I measured mine. It was like 7¼ inches.
I got way more than you did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was hearing some people tell me they got like 12 inches in Carrollton.
I got almost 14.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's insane. I don't know why we didn't get as much as everybody else. But I felt pretty good about 7¼ but
when you're on the peninsula, we normally would be the people with the snow stories. And it just did not happen this time when it came from the direction it came. Toano did not get as much as we did. We didn't get as much as Newport News did. Mm-hmm. And when Newport News didn't get as much as y'all did in Suffolk. And when you got down to Elizabeth City, I heard they got over 12 inches.
Yeah.
Well, call in, tell us how many inches you got, or just call in with your question. Either way, if you call in, you're going to get a coffee gift card, a free coffee gift card. We'll give you a free coffee gift card for calling in. So that's 757-627-7979. That's 757-627-7979. So going back to termites. We were saying that, hey, Cindy, you're a great connection for those that are out there that are, business owners that are doing new home construction or doing some big development. Tell us a little bit about the process from, you meeting them and what you would do on maybe one of their projects.
So first thing I'd say about that, I've been in the business quite a while. And so when I'm doing those, what we call pre-treats, I do it old school. So what is old school? So if you're got your foundation laid out on what you're going to build, whether it be, and we've done townhouse associations, we've done houses, custom built houses, we've done, sub-developments and all that kind of stuff. But you lay out that foundation, and we come in and we do a soil treatment. So that kills the termites within that soil. So it's very, very important to do that. That's not done by other companies.
And you're saying that's old school?
That's old school. Yeah.
Well, I like old school
I do
because I
too.
mean one of the things that I like about that is well, first off, usually there's some type of discount involved because you're not having to get in there and crawl around and do the treatment in there and then investigate the space. You kind of come in on site and you can actually have full access to the entire foundation and do that treatment.
Right. So after we've done the soil, once the builder goes in there and builds the house, we can do one of two things, and we talked about this offline too. We can treat the wood once it's put up in there, and then also can come back the third time and treat the actual structure. So once the building is completed and the final grade is done, then we come back and treat the structure. You will not get termites.
Yeah, that's the absolute best process. Yeah. And you know where people make a mistake is they get penny wise and pound foolish.
Right.
And they don't do what they need to do in the beginning to protect themselves.
And it should be done with additions too. I mean, I have been in a crawl space before and these people had this hundreds of $1,000s additions put onto this house, and actually Chuck and I worked on this, but the termite problem started in the crawl space and went up 3 levels up into the attic.
Well, I don't think people really realize is that we, you know, when you get an addition doesn't mean that you can, well, I've already had it treated, I don't need to get a treatment. Hey, we got a caller. Can we go to the caller now, or we got to wait?
We've got 1 minute until we got to hit our news break.
Oh, well, yeah, we got 1 minute. We're gonna talk a little bit more, and then we'll go to news break, and then we'll come back. Floyd, hang on the line. We'll be right with you, Floyd. So, so you go in there, you do the treatment. Here's the other thing I was going to ask you: what type of time frame are we talking about? Once you spray, when would you need to come back? You know, are we talking like 5 years, 10 years, 7 years, 12 years?
So in this area, and there's one guy that is really kind of like my mentor.
Hold that thought. We're gonna go to break, and we'll be right back to answer that question.
Good evening, Hampton Roads. This is the 757 House Whisperers Show, brought to you by Worley's Home Services. They're the team in Hampton Roads that can take care of your plumbing, heating, electrical, crawl space encapsulation, foam, spray foam, regular installation. They do it all. You see the van, trust the brand, Worley's Home Services. My name is Michael Davenport, and I'm an owner at CVP Windows and Doors. My partner and I, Barry Taylor, are the only window manufacturers in the Hampton Roads market. We service all the way up to Richmond, up into the Northern Neck, Virginia Beach, and down into Carolina, Outer Banks, and Elizabeth City. We are a manufacturer, and we are the ones that you call for any service that you need. We also do Therma-Tru windows or Therma-Tru doors, and so we are right here to be at your beck and need. I'm going to let the rest of the team introduce themselves.
My name is Albin with Albin Co. We specialize in kitchens and bath remodels. You got a kitchen or bath that you're thinking about doing as the summer, or not the summer, but as things start to warm up. I don't want to rush it. As things start to warm up and you start thinking about those projects, give us a call. Again, Albin Co. I also wanted to introduce Jack Keller with Legacy Painting. He specializes in interior, exterior painting, and he also does little, drywall touch-ups and stuff like that, trying to prep work for, the painting stuff. So, Cindy?
I am Cindy Rout, owner-operator of Alpha Pest Solutions. They're family-owned and operated full-service exterminating service, doing termites, pest control, fungus, moisture issues, anything like that, inspections when people are buying and selling your homes. So we deal with a lot of realtors. And if you're thinking about putting your house up for sale, we'd love to come do a free inspection for you to tell you what, if anything, is going on. And remember, I'm the only woman you know with a license to kill.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, don't forget the number 757-627-7979. If you're just tuning in, we're here to help you with your house needs. 757-627-7979. Before we go any further, we got a caller, Floyd Chesapeake. He's got a question. This one's going to go to Michael. It's a question about cracks in windows. Hey, Floyd.
What's happening, buddy?
Hey, how you doing? I might start with Michael, but the more I think about it, it might touch on all three.
Well, we're here at your disposal. Tell us what you got going on.
What's going on with your windows, buddy?
I got a house. It's about 20 years old. New. Kids are out the house, so things
Yay.
are starting to go. I was getting my Renai water heater put in today because that went out. And while I was outside with the guy that was putting it in, I looked at my bathroom window. Now, it's one of those windows that has, you can't open it or close it. It has square individual
panels. They can be glass or plastic.
Yeah.
I thought they were glass, but I looked at it and I saw little cracks in it, and I guess that's from the house settling. It's a brick house.
Well,
and I tapped on it, and it did seem like it was plastic.
Yeah, it probably is. That the glass ones were so expensive and so heavy, they didn't stay around long as far as production. Let me ask you a question. Where's your home located?
It's in Great Bridge.
Okay. Do you happen to know who the builder is?
Yeah, it was Dave Barbini.
Who?
It was Barbini. That was the builder.
Okay. Well, those plastic squares are classic for getting cracks in them. One of the things, and we've replaced a lot of those with a nice double pane window, but you can tell when you got a problem when it looks like you got a small fish aquarium inside of one of those. I was kiddingly told a guy one time, you wouldn't have all that fungus on the inside of that glass square if you put a tropical fish in it. He'd keep it clean for you. But the only way to fix that problem is to replace it. There's not a repair that's feasible that would help you out any. We would be glad to come out and give you a price on getting the window replaced and what have you. And all you'd have to do is give us a call at 757-887-3194. Be glad to get you a complimentary review to see what we could do for you. One of the things with your house being 20 years old, unfortunately, the low E glass had not come into full bloom at that time, and so your windows are not energy rated windows, and you get a complimentary review of that. We're not the company that comes in to sit down and talk with you. Then 3 hours later, the guy's asking you for a pillow and a blanket, and he'll sleep on the couch and meet you back here in the morning. It's just not us. Because me and my partner, Barry, we don't like that. And everybody that works for us, we're not your typical window door guy. We're not there to try to talk you into something the first time we ever meet you. A consultant comes out. He looks at your house. He takes some pictures, some rough measurements. He goes into a conversation with you about what are your wants and needs, because we want to know what you're really wanting to get done, so we'll be able to give you the best solution. At most, unless you have a lot of questions, he's going to be there 30 minutes. That information comes back to our office. Young lady Ola in the office, she will go through. She'll do up a price quote for you. He will have a predetermined review time when he leaves your home that day. He'll come back at that time. He'll sit down and go through that quote line item by line item for you, so that you can understand totally what is encompassed in a replacement of your windows. Tell me, what's the outside of your home? And you say it's brick?
Yeah.
Okay. It probably has.
It's a brick ranch, about 2,700, I believe.
Okay. It probably has brick mold on the outside of the window. And people think that, brick mold means it's always a brick house, and that's not the case either. But we can totally reproduce that. Our window has an attachment that becomes an integral part of the window, that is a true brick mold. Our manufacturer of our vinyl, Vecca Corporation, did that for my partner many years ago because they wanted to know what we could do to buy more vinyl from them. And Barry came up with that, told them about it. They thought it was a great idea because brick mold was mainly in the mid-Atlantic region. Down in the south, up in the north, they don't have it as much. California don't know what a piece of brick mold looks like. So it's mainly here. But our manufacturer of the vinyl thought that was a great idea, so he did that. When we come in back to do the review, we sit down, and when he comes in, he'll review it window by window to make sure you understand what we're doing. We'll go over what we do and what have you. We can put we can do it two different ways for you. We can do the total frame replacement, which gives us an opportunity to inspect the frame, the structure behind the window, to be sure that what we've been talking about here recently, you don't have a problem with termites back there, or a leak that has rotted something because the windows were not kept properly caulked or what have you.
Right, and that was going into the other question because I did see a gap in it where I guess moisture and rain could get in, so it has me wondering I know termites like moisture, so
they sure do.
They will follow that trail, and it's moisture is one of the detriments. The termites will follow that, but the other thing is that when we get in there and we pull that window out and we're looking at the framework, we have actually seen where the moisture has gotten behind at the roof line, comes down the wall between the brick and the structure, and you can have a real mess back there if that occurs. And it's better to find that earlier than later because the structure suffers greatly when that occurs because it can't dry out between the brick and the framework. And so it just goes into the wood itself and causes all this damage. But when we come back that second time, we're there to educate. We're there to give you the information that you need to make a good decision. And we're not there to sit there seriously until you decide to buy or the guy doesn't leave. We're just not that company. We are educational. We bring our knowledge to you and help you understand what we're going to do. And it can be a big house. It can be one window. It doesn't matter to us. Some of the people in the area, they won't even look at your house unless they're doing 4 to 6 windows. Everybody doesn't need 4 to 6 windows. Sometimes you need 1 or 2. Sometimes you do need the whole house. We have done houses that had over 100 windows. That was a pretty good size house. And we do houses all the time that have 6 to 10. So matter of fact, we got one that we just gave a price to a lady up in Providence Forge. She has a window that is 2 stories in the air. It's a family room on one side. Of course, it's on the outside of it's 2 stories. And it's just a window that is 6 feet wide, 7 feet tall. And it's a fixed window, but it's got so much seal failure in it that it looks like it's frosted. And her homeowners association is saying, hey, you got to get that thing fixed. Well, sometimes they're good, but, you got to get the money together to get it done. But like I say, we will come do one, come do all. But, yeah, you're making the right decision if you just want us to come out and just give you a free review. We'll give you a price and let you know what we can do for you.
You have any other things going on, Floyd?
I did. So while I was getting the system put in, we had turned off one of the Renee got turned off a breaker, and he said, hey, look at this. These breaker switches are you shouldn't be able to move them like this. And I was like, wow, I wonder. He said, I think this one may even have a short as possible. So I was thinking about getting a smart panel or panel put in or something like that.
Well, I'm sure Chuck can help you with that with Worley Home Services. And yes, you can have breakers that go bad, and sometimes smart panels are coming in. They're becoming a thing, and definitely being able to watch your energy consumption and being able to turn off breakers you don't need or control whole circuits from your phone or from your computer is coming down the pipe, and yeah, that'd be cool to be at the forefront of that. I say forefront. I guess it's been around a little bit, but the panels are getting smarter and smarter every day.
Yep.
Newer and newer technology out there. I'm actually got some of that stuff going on in my panel where we're actually doing some energy monitoring. It's not necessarily smart breakers, but yeah, so we can get you hooked up with Chuck Worley on that. We'll get him to call you when he gets back into town, or one of his associates. And I'm sure he can hook you up with some really nice smart panels.
Chuck's suffering down.
Other thing was real quick is the
yeah.
That led me, like I said, the windows. I noticed the caulking it was like a gap between the caulk. It's from the house settling. The kids are gone. It's time for me to reclaim my house back.
Yeah.
So I'm getting all this stuff.
Well, it sounds to me if you have some settling and caulk cracking, I guess when Michael comes out or his team comes out, we can maybe see if there's something else going on there. See if it's any natural settling or severe. You got any cracks in the ceilings or in your casing around your doors or windows?
I do in part of the house with the ceiling, but my main question about the windows with the crack, is there a way to tell if termites have gotten in there?
Are you on a slab or a crawl space?
I'm on a crawl space.
Yeah, just let me come look at it.
Yeah.
Those inspections are free.
That's a big plus.
Yep.
She can see because they got to travel through the crawl space to get to your house.
You're seeing the crawl space. What if they come? That's what my question was. What if they're coming from the top?
They're not. They're going to come. So
always have to come from the ground.
Yeah. So around here, the termites that we predominantly have are subterranean termites, and they come from the soil.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm confused. Help me out here, because I heard you said they have wings.
Well, that's when they're swarming.
So,
yeah. They have termites are like most insects, where they have different stages, and so that's one of their stages. They come from a little pupa stage, and then they go into the swarmers and all that. They have different stages. So once they become swarmers, then once they pick their mate, then they start a colony.
Yeah, we're sorry if we provided any confusion on that, but yes, they do have wings.
No.
Eventually, they don't have wings.
Right.
But Cindy, if I'm right, they have to travel to the ground on a daily basis.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. That's where they live.
Yep.
So,
okay. So basically, they will only come from the ground up. They won't fly into a crack and start the thing there.
No,
they don't fly.
They got to live in the ground. That's their house.
Yeah.
The ground is their house. That's why when you have a house built, it's important to treat the soil.
Yeah, that's their main avenue. That's their interstate.
Right.
Yeah, so they have to travel back to the ground for moisture, and that's where they live.
That's where their nest is.
And so
the queen's going to be there.
And they actually have to tunnel to wherever they're going. So anytime she comes under the house, she can find those tunnels, see if there's any active tunnels. That's what they travel in. Mm-hmm. And if there's active tunnels, meaning she can break open the tunnel and see, hey, yes, there seems to be activity here, then she can know what she needs to do at that point.
And the thing with termites is it's not if, it's when.
Yep.
You're going to get them here. I promise
Hampton Roads.
You don't just look.
Way.
You're proactive at treating for it.
I have many of my people treat every 7 to 8 years.
And then of course we got
Even
another.
If they see nothing, they just
have another thing that we have to deal with here, and it's a constant battle, is the water. So you were talking about moisture and cracking and things moving. Cindy can really check the crawl space for any mold, fungus,
anything like that,
stuff like that.
Yep.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Does encapsulation help prevent termites?
It can help prevent moisture, which attracts the termites, and so it can help with that. But if a termite wants to eat something, it's going to eat it.
Yeah,
and that's what's important about having somebody look at it once a year. Somebody who does that sort of thing ought to be looking at your house.
Yeah.
That's one of your biggest investments. Ought to be looking at it at least once a year.
And you got to be careful with an encapsulation company because if they are overzealous and they don't leave you an inspection ring around the top. Because termite, he'll come up the inside of your block, then that's the face of the block in a crawl normally, and you'll see a little trail. But if the guy doing your encapsulation wraps up and over, and you don't have about a 3-inch inspection band around that foundation, then they can be inside your structure, and you not even know it.
Yep.
Well, one thing to prevent that, and one things we talk about quite a bit is if you're going to get encapsulation, which Chuck will do for you if you need that.
Yep.
If you're going to get encapsulation, go with a company that's going to pull permitting, because if they pull permits, they have to
inspections.
submit a form saying this is how we're going to do it. That
Right.
means they know how to do it, and at that point, the local jurisdictions can shoot it down and say, no, you didn't leave the inspection ban, or you didn't have this detail in. So they're going to kind of make sure that the company that is hired to do it does it right, and that that again, the permitting process is to protect you. So if you
Right.
if you get somebody in there that says, hey, I can do it, we don't need to pull a permit on this, that's the first sign to say, wait a minute, hold on. Why are you doing it that way? Because what that means is nobody's going to be checking their work, and that they can just take your money and run. And guess what? When you find out later on, when you go to sell the house and somebody says, hey, they didn't leave an inspection band or whatever,
and I can't inspect it,
then you're not going to find that contractor to come back and fix it. They're not going to do it.
Right.
So it's just not going to happen. So be cautious. Hire safe. Make sure you have insured contractors, ones that that are Class A, Class B, or Class C, depending on the level of work they're doing. And then also make sure they're pulling permits. That's for your safety.
That is always
licensed and insured.
Yep,
So,
always the
You
case.
you guys are a wealth of knowledge, especially with the 3-inch band for the encapsulation. I never would have thought of that. I never would have thought of that.
Yeah, a lot of companies will go in there and they'll spray down the girder, the floor joist, and all that. And I'm here to tell you, because I do the inspections for real estate all the time, every day. I can't inspect it when that spray foam's everywhere. I can't inspect it.
Yeah.
And then there you are. You gotta have it removed, and it costs you just as much to remove it as it did to you to put it in.
Actually, it's more detrimental because it'll get in bonding in the pores of the structure.
Right.
And that is really a bear to go out. And that's the good thing about spray foam in your structure walls up top. It bonds your studs and your exterior skin. It gives your house a lot more structure against twist and what have you. In this high wind environment, it's always good to have a really strong structure.
Going back to the crawl space encapsulation, Floyd, it may not provide any more defense for the termites, but it is a great option for Hampton Roads, where we call it the Tidewater area, where we got lots of moisture, all that kind of stuff going on. If you can get in there, of course, now anybody putting in a crawl space encapsulation, you need to be sure they're actually doing a thorough inspection of your crawl space and make sure that they determine whether or not you actually need a sump pump, any type of drainage rock around the perimeter. You want to make sure that you don't get water trapped underneath the plastic, because you still could have issues with water. Just because you put plastic down doesn't mean you might not have water coming in from some other area. So you want to make sure you still have a way to vacate that water that's getting underneath the plastic. And so anybody just saying, hey, I'll lay some plastic down, tape it off, that's not. I mean, there's a lot more to it. So we want to get that water. We want to get that water away from the house. If you got water problems in your crawl space, a little bit more than just an encapsulation is going to be needed.
And
so
one thing good, Floyd, I know Worley's Home Services did my encapsulation. And what is really nice, if you got a nice encapsulation, they put lights in there. You flick a switch when you go in the crawl, you can see everything. And if you get in the doghouse, you don't have to worry about boring the dog. You can go get a pillow and sleep under the house, because the temperature in your crawl space when it's encapsulated stays relatively somewhere in the neighborhood of 50 to 55 degrees, even in the winter. So it's not that uncomfortable.
So were you in the doghouse or something like that? You got thrown up underneath the house?
I got rid of the dog.
Got trouble with that.
They went to their reward.
Floyd, thank you for calling in.
Yes.
Great to talk to you. We'll have some people reach out to you to make sure that you're taken care of. And again, this is the 757 House Whisperer Show. If you want to reach us offline, you can call us at 757-955-9415. That's 757-955-9415. You can text or call in. You can see us on YouTube, Instagram, or Facebook. We look forward to seeing you next week.
Hey, Chuck and Julie.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Woo-hoo.
The preceding program was sponsored and paid for by Worley Home Services, who's entirely responsible for its content.